Well, guys, I got a transmission. It took quite a while and a bunch of laying and cactus thorns. Unfortunately, the truck this came out of was turned into quite the rat's nest. Um, and it seems like these particular rats liked using cactus thorns as bedding materials, so definitely put some cactus thorns pretty far into my fingers a couple of times, to my back, just about everything. But here we go. I got a two-wheel drive 4L80 now. This is not technically one designed to go on an LS. You can see it's missing the top bolt there. It's designed for the two upper side bolts. This is actually a 98 off of a 3/4 ton with a 454. Um, and unfortunately, I didn't get the torque converter for it since the engine the torque converter was bolted to was totally locked up. Um, yeah, transmission seems like it turns over okay. A little hard to tell for sure. I'm gonna have to wait until I can get it bolted up to the engine before I can find out if it's any good. Unfortunately, it's probably gonna be outside of the warranty I have at the junkyard. But fortunately, cores for these are still decently valuable around here. They are pretty desirable transmissions, so hopefully I can at least get my money back if it does turn out to have an issue. Now, I'm going to have to get a new flex plate, and I have to get a spacer as well for my 5.3. As you can see, these engines are designed, they only have 3 bolt holes for the torque converter on the flex plate, and as well, additionally, these 4L80s are more like the Turbo 400s and Turbo 350s as far as the torque converter offset. The torque converter actually sits closer to the engine in a new 4L60 designed for an LS than it does in one of these. So you do need to pick up a flex plate designed for a 4L80 or commonly used for swapping like old 4L60s, 4L80s, or Turbo 400s, any of the old style transmissions onto one of these engines. Luckily, a lot of people like buying these expensive like aftermarket adapter kits from like Advanced Adapters around like $300. You can buy the factory style flex plate for a 6 liter. Like 99 and 2000 won't work, but anything newer than like a 2001 and up 6.0 liter LS came with a 4L80, which is the same as these old ones. And so you could just buy the factory flex plate for one of those. The GM one runs about $65. ATP and Pioneer both make alternatives. And the benefit of the ATP one is it actually comes with a spacer and the extended flex plate bolts, which all by themselves run like $12 each or something from GM. They're actually really expensive. So I'll probably pick up the ATP one. It costs $50 for all 6 bolts, the flex plate, and the spacer. Now, this thing is missing, namely right now it's missing the output speed sensor, which luckily I do have a spare 4L80 sitting over in the backyard, so I'll be able to pull off parts I need. I also think I'll probably, now this one's got the factory 2-wheel drive, like small block, big block style torque converter cover, and I'll probably go ahead and run the 4-wheel drive style LS one I've got the one that goes with the other transmission, which is an 06. So that I can bolt it onto this engine a bit more securely since I don't have all of the bolts. Now I'm going to do some reading and see how people typically deal with this issue. Like I said, as you can see, this transmission does not have that top bolt hole, and it's got both of these two, where on this engine, this top hole here is not drilled and tapped, and you've got the one at the very top there that transmission is not set up for. So I'm going to have to deal with that, but from everything I've read, 95 and up 4L80s are electronically and externally, other than of course the bell housing, the same all the way up through 2007. Some of the older ones have a different style connector and different style electronics. mainly like I think they call it like a DE solenoid. I don't know actually. I don't remember off the top of my head what I'd read. But this is a 98, so it should be able to work fine with the LS computer, and it's still it. I guess it's a little bit weaker mechanically than the newer ones, but I mean 480 is still a hell of a transmission, and for 126 bucks I paid for it, better than spending the extra money it would have cost me to get a newer 4L60, I think, because with the long term power goals for this engine, I'm going to need an 80 anyway. So, that's just about the only update I have for today. I didn't really get much done. But as soon as I get those engine mounts, now like the guy's been jerking me around a little bit with that. I don't know what's going on with the engine mounts. Hopefully they'll be here pretty soon, and then we can try seeing about getting this engine and transmission mounted in the truck and start working on that. All right, guys, go ahead and rate, comment, subscribe. I know I don't have much going on that's exciting yet, but I promise things are going to start getting interesting here. Hopefully pretty soon, as soon as that engine starts getting ready to go in the truck. It should be a fun ride. I'm going to make sure to get lots of good video of showing how I deal with swapping this engine in and all the electrical stuff. I'm going to be using the fuse box for the original engine as the fuse box for the entire truck. I'm going to strip out all the original electronics and wire them into that fuse box. So I'll be sure and show people how I'm doing all that. So anyone who else is interested in doing an LS swap into an unusual vehicle, hopefully this can help you figure out how to do some of this stuff.